Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you. Ji Ayanu, welcome to election 2020 and to all Americans in Urdu and in English. आपको हम सब खुशामदेद कहते हैं election 2020 के program में. Some of you are having your evening tea right now with the family, and we are so honored to be part of your evening tea in your homes today. We have a couple of special guests. As you have seen many programs, आप लोगों ने बहुत से programs देखे हैं जिसमें हम election 2020 के हवाले से बात करते हैं. बात हम इंग्लिश और उर्दू दोनों में करते हैं ताकि सामीन को जो हमारी बात है वो ज़रा उर्दू की ज़ुबान की मोहब्बत में भी समझ आ सके. अमेरिका की क्रिएशन जब हुई तो रिलीजियस इक्वालिटी एंड अपॉर्चुनिटी फॉर ऑल पीपल के प्रिंसिपल पे हुई कि सबके लिए एक जैसी अपॉर्चुनिटी हो. जब ये अजीम मुल्क बना उससे अभी तक जो स्ट्रगल्स रहीं स्लेवरी के बारे में, ब्लैक अमेरिकन्स के अगेंस्ट जो डिस्क्रिमिनेशन हुई, जो कलर बेस्ड डिस्क्रिमिनेशन हुई, जो रिलीजन बेस्ड क्वैकर्स के साथ और दूसरे लोगों के साथ डिस्क्रिमिनेशन हुई, हम वहाँ से आगे आते रहे हर साल के साथ. और आज के करंट अमेरिका में फोर फादर्स ने, अमेरिकन पॉलिटिकल फिगर्स और लीडर्स ने एक बेटर अमेरिका हमें दिया. लेकिन क्या हम वापस रिवर्स मोड में जा रहे हैं? आर वी इन रिवर्स मोड टूवर्ड्स द डार्केस्ट पेजेस ऑफ हिस्ट्री वंस मोर अगेन in the history of our great nation, the nation which was established on the base of love for all, equal opportunity for everyone, and justice for all. The nation which went through the immense struggles of discrimination on basis of faith and religion and color and whatnot and whatnot. So much our homeland suffered, and then we were healed, and after healing, we started the journey of progress, prosperity, love, respect, opportunity for all, regardless of color, religious background, sexual orientation, or whatnot. So we became a better nation. But today, we face a dilemma. We face a challenge. Are we going in reverse? Is progress is not there anymore? On this aspect, and about the future of our great nation, and about election 2020, we have two extremely special and honorable guests with us. And reason we switch to English is I would like to talk about one of very special candidate who understands the struggles of an American leader, being a woman, being an African American, being Black American, being a physician, being, in a Texas state which happens to be still slightly red, and facing all those things that people can talk about but don't feel the reality. Councilwoman-elect and Honorable Councilwoman, Dr. Letitia Plumber. How are you?
I'm doing good. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Alaikum salam. How are you?
Good.
And congratulations
Thank
on
you.
this great victory in one of the great city of American nation, Houston, that you are on the council, which is, God knows, managing a budget of trillions of dollars, I believe, right? So tell us about, there's a life before election and everything changes after election. Walk us through your day.
So first of all, I'm just so grateful that this is a position I'm in right now. It's history in the making, basically. The first African American Muslim woman to ever sit on council in the state of Texas. So it's a big accomplishment. It's disappointing though, because in 2020 it took this long for us to come to a place to where people like me can actually represent our communities in the most diverse city in the nation. So it's definitely an accomplishment, and I'm grateful for the voters. But no, my day is wonderful. I'm still practicing dentistry, so I've got a great team that works with me at City Hall, and we are in session typically 2 days a week on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. One time we can hear people's comments, public comments, and the other day we actually vote on ordinances and budget issues and things of that sort. But it's been amazing. It really has been a great experience.
So balancing this professional life of being a medical professional, which is demanding, and now balancing the city budget and city, and fulfilling all this, what is one thing you wish you could change?
I would say equity.
Equity.
I really would say equity. Most of the things that we're looking at, most of the budgetary issues that we're looking at, there's always a discrepancy there in terms of how many minority businesses are able to be involved in the process. companies that don't necessarily have to employ or engage anyone in the minority business space. How that's an option and not necessarily a recommendation or a requirement. That's probably something I would like to change if I could. Just being a business owner, I know how difficult it is to engage in the process in terms of, contractual information or contractual opportunities with the city of Houston. So that's something that I would like to change if I could. And we'll be working on that. As an at-large member, I get to manage the whole entire city. I don't have a specific district, and so that is definitely something that I'm focusing on, and we'll make a priority in our.
And it's small world, right? You, I feel like you have your team here again, because next guest sitting with you, who is a political analyst and also a director of Coalition of Americans for Political and Social Awareness. Also, he works with many nonprofit organizations. And being a political analyst, and I have first-hand knowledge that he have worked extensively behind the scene for your campaign as well. Name Raja. Name Raja, how are you today?
I'm doing good. Thank you for inviting me.
Dr. Letitia Plumber succeeded in what she wanted to succeed in, and you were one of the help as well. We have heard many times you promoting this honorable name of our community.
Sure.
How do you feel that? Tell us your feeling about her winning this election.
I'm feeling really great because she's the first one who actually came out and won the election. And I remember last year, the last election, when she was running for District 22, she worked hard, but unfortunately she didn't make it. But this time that paid off, and she will be, I feel that she will be representing us in a great way.
And people I spoke to tell you, honestly, the people I spoke to with my political background and all that, they are so happy to have Honorable Councilwoman on the council of the city, which makes a major decision.
Especially a Muslim woman.
Yes.
That's a big achievement.
Yes. And yes, other offices are important too, but the grassroots is where it happens.
Yes.
So when she will be impacting this, and then she will help with all the congressional districts, all the Senate districts. She is representing us at a large position, which is a huge position, by the way. It's kind of a hard election because she have to prove herself throughout the city. So I'm glad that you are on that team who have promoted. If there is one takeaway, giving your history in the politics in Houston, a lot of our politicians make one major mistake after they're elected. What would that be that you would like to point out that you have seen many times that they fail to do that after they're elected? What is one thing?
I think most important thing is to stay connected with your grassroots voters, and always help them to understand their problems and present solutions and resolve their issues on personal level. What actually happens is, if I give you an example, one of the congressmen is elected, we helped him to get elected. After that, he just never wanted to come to our mosques, he never wanted to get involved with the community, and he is on the other side of the party, he's Republican. But this is what our leaders need to do, that when you get elected, you still remember that these are the people who elected me, and tomorrow I'm going to need them again. And this is what most of the elected officials don't do.
One of the challenges I've seen with the Republican Party, and our program is very nonpartisan, but most of you who know, in Texas, we have seen this repeated many times.
Yes.
Okay. So Senate District 22 and another guest who will join us in the second segment here, Derek Reed, will be joining us, who is a very good friend of Dr. Letitia Plumber, and they have gone through a lot of struggles together. With my independent study of both of them, they have faced a lot of similar challenges, and they can connect at a level that others can't. So if this happens, this will be a great partnership between the greatest city in America, for me at least, Houston, and our corridors of power. And we'll talk a little bit in Urdu. Naeem Raja Saab, aap kya samajhte hain ke
they are running for and what they believe in? I give you an example. Derek Reed, I talked to him. I was very impressed by his, knowledge of what is happening around the world. A congressman who is going to be in the Congress, he should know that what is happening in the world. Like, he was the one who condemned genocide in Kashmir. He stood with the people of Kashmir as well as the people of India when the other candidate, who's his opponent, did not do that. So this is very important, that if congressman takes the side instead of looking at the figures and facts, that is going to be unfortunate. और हमारे लोगों को ये देखना चाहिए कि जो Derek Reed है, he is Afro-American, but he is staying connected with his grassroots. He knows who are his voters and what his voters want. Luckily, we like to know from him. I mean, luckily we know that he has given a lot of statements against genocide. But
and I would like to interject here for our audience and viewers. You know, मैंने देखा है कि जब ये इंडियन और पाकिस्तानी की बात नहीं है, ये अफ्रीकन और यूरोपियन की बात नहीं है, ये ह्यूमन राइट्स की बात है। वो लीडर्स जो ह्यूमन राइट्स की खातिर एक टफ टाइम में आम पब्लिक के साथ खड़े नहीं हो सकते, क्या वो हमें रिप्रेजेंट कर सकते हैं ताकत के उन ईवानों में जहाँ पे उनको जो है डिफ़िकल्ट डिसीजंस करने पड़ेंगे? इंग्लिश ऑडियंस के लिए मैं बताना चाहूँगा, दोज ऑफ आवर पॉलिटिकल लीडर्स who cannot stand firm on the human rights violation, do you think, fellow viewers, that they can stand on their own spine when the difficult time comes and they are in the power corridors tucked away from us? Letitia Plumber, I have seen you. And I'm sorry, you have so many titles. I'm struggling with councilwoman, doctor, a good friend, you know. So Dr. Plummer, we'll go with that. Is that acceptable?
That's perfectly acceptable.
Okay, Dr. Plummer, I have seen you personally during the Kashmir protest. You came there as an American who's protesting with fellow Americans the human rights violation. You have nothing against, BJP or the political parties and stuff like that. How do you feel, one of the candidate, we can talk about Sri. I would like to get your opinion. Sri is a good guy probably on many, many levels, but him going and being part of Howdy Moody, which is mostly a Republican promoted event as well, and then you have this political party which was banned from the United States for what they do, okay? Going to event of that party, how do you feel as just an ordinary American about that?
I mean, it's incredibly important when you want to take political office that you always stand on the side of right. And that's another reason why I'm supporting Derek Reed in this race. I know Texas 22 like my backhand. Like I ran that race hard. I mean, all of you know that you were all on the ground with me.
Yes, we were
I didn't leave one rock unturned. And one thing that I realized in that race is that you have, because of the incredible diversity of that community, you have to understand what's right and what's wrong in terms of cultural issues. And being a Muslim and being a black woman, I get it on both sides. I get the prejudices on both sides. And one thing that I believe is that Derek understands that. And I have not endorsed any other candidates, and I'm not going to. I'm really standing strong on that. But I'm coming out for Derek to support him because he knows what it's going to take to represent Texas 22 the right way. In terms of Sri being at that particular event, I disagree. I mean, I don't think that he should have been there. We were all on the outside. All of us together were protesting.
Yes, I was.
Because it was a human rights issue. It had nothing to do, I had nothing to gain necessarily because it had nothing to do with my particular race. But it's human rights. And anywhere in the world where we're killing people unnecessarily, regardless of what religion or background or cultural issue it is, it's wrong. And we have to stand on that side of it. And so I think that a lot of people forget that they're human beings before they're politicians.
Yes.
And I don't think Derek will ever feel that way. He's grounded. He's a great father. He's a business owner. He's a sentimental person. And I believe that with that, you still need the strength and the fortitude to stand up for what's right. And I think he has a good balance of that. But as we see around the world right now, I mean, things are happening all over the world, and we have to stand on what's right for people. And we have to give them those protections. And being at that event and being on the outside and seeing how the thousands of people that were protesting with us really made my heart feel good.
Yep. And in second segment, you and me and Derek, we will speak in a little bit more details about this. And, Mr. Naeem, Dr. Letitia Plummer, when she ran, and you mentioned earlier, the Senate District, Congressional District 22 race.
Yes.
And you were there behind the scene working.
Yes.
And she had a couple of other team members, Munira being one of the very active one, and Amina, I believe, was there because I think I did the speech on that.
Yeah, last.
There is one thing always stands out about a candidate, which makes you so proud. आपको डॉक्टर लतीशा प्लम्बर की ऐसी कौन सी बात अच्छी लगी जिसकी बेस पे, और पॉलिटिक्स असाइड, एज अ ह्यूमन बीइंग, आपको ऐसी कौन सी बात अच्छी लगी जिससे यू वर सोल्ड कि डॉक्टर लतीशा प्लम्बर इज द राइट पर्सन फॉर दिस जॉब इन सिटी ऑफ हीस्टन?
सबसे अच्छी बात जो ये है कि एक प्रोफेशनल वुमन विद द फैमिली, जो कि शी इज टेकिंग केयर ऑफ द फैमिली एंड शी इज अ प्रोफेशनल, शी मेड अ टाइम टू कम आउट एंड टॉक अबाउट पीपल्स इशू.
और ये अगर उर्दू में बता दें तो बड़ा अच्छा होगा.
हाँ, लोगों के हकूक़ के लिए जो है डॉक्टर लतीशा निकली बाहर, इवन दो कि वो एक प्रोफेशनल वुमन है, अपने कैरियर है उनका, एक बच्चे हैं उनके, शी हैज़ अ बिग फैमिली, अपने फैमिली वेयर शी हैज़ टू टेक केयर ऑफ. तो ये सारी चीज़ें उन्हें.
Derek Reed, you have seen couple of episodes with him and why he's running for Congressional District 22, why he is more qualified than any other candidate in the race. He have made his case. We'll continue that discussion. हम ये जो है subject जो जारी रखेंगे कि Derek Reed क्यों समझ.
Through all the different cultures that are there, and also it's a high level of small business ownership, and so between that piece of economics and understanding the different cultures and how to communicate with different cultures, it's important to understand those two so that when you do vote and you make those decisions for that particular district, you understand it.
And Derek Reed, we'll come to Derek Reed. How do you know Derek Reed?
So we're good friends. We're very good friends. He sat on council in Pearland. I started my business in Pearland. I've been there almost 20 years.
Okay.
So just without me being, as me being a business owner there, we interacted on a lot of different occasions. He did an amazing job while he was on council there.
Dr. Letitia Plummer, in regards to Derek Reed, what you said, and within Democratic Party, we have a lot of candidates who are, prying their eyes for this congressional district. If you were to pick a candidate for this race, from a Democratic side, obviously you are a Democrat,
Yes.
Who would that be?
Derek Reed for sure, without a doubt.
So you are endorsing Derek Reed?
100%, 100%. And let me be very clear, I'm not endorsing any other people in any other races.
Okay.
He is one person I'm endorsing and standing behind. I just know the community well. A lot of times what I found when I was running was you have this division, this far left, far right division that happens. And even within the party itself, there's kind of a far right and far left. And what I see, to win that district, you have to have someone that understands both sides. You have to understand economic opportunities and development. You have to understand cultural diversity. You have to understand how important healthcare is to our community as well. And I know that Derek can do that in District 22.
Dr. Plummer कह रही हैं कि मैं किसी भी कैंडिडेट को एंडोर्स नहीं कर रही एक्सेप्ट डेरेक रीड, और कंग्रेशनल डिस्ट्रिक्ट 22 में डेरेक रीड को इसलिए एंडोर्स कर रही हूँ कि ये एक डाइवर्स डिस्ट्रिक्ट है, वहाँ पे मैंने 20 साल बिजनेस किया और डेरेक रीड वहाँ पे सिटी काउंसिलमैन थे, और मैं स्ट्रांगली रिकमेंड करती हूँ डेरेक रीड को बेस्ड ऑन व्हाट आई नो अबाउट हिम, उनके बारे में मैं जो जानती हूँ. कांग्रेस वुमेन, councilwoman, that is amazing. I know Dr. Plummer on so many bases. I'm having a difficult time.
It's all confusing.
Okay. So, councilwoman,
Yes.
we would like to get an official endorsement from you
Yes.
for our viewers on camera.
Of course.
Councilwoman की endorsement alone लेते हैं जी, Rashid साहब. Go ahead. Dr. Plummer.
Yes, I am Letitia Plummer. I'm your councilwoman for Houston City Council, at large position number 4. And as a Muslim in this community, I understand how important it is to have someone that can represent all of us fairly. And I know that Derek Reed could do that. So I am officially endorsing Derek Reed for Congress for Texas 22. And I really hope that all of you can get behind him as well. He's the best candidate for this particular race. I know it because I ran it. And I know that he will stand for all of us, especially the human rights that's important in our communities, and small business ownership. He's also a small business owner, and a lot of us are that as well. And so he'll make sure that whatever he votes on and whatever he supports are things that are the best for our community.
And this calls for a shake hand between you guys, right?
Yes, we can shake hands.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So Dr. Plummer ने अभी based on many factors Congressional District 22 की रेस में डेरेक रीड को endorse किया है, और उनका कहना ये है कि ये खुद स्मॉल बिजनेस ओनर है, इसने स्ट्रगल्स देखी हैं, और जो स्ट्रगल्स डेरेक रीड ने देखी हैं वो शायद दूसरे काउंटर पार्ट्स ने नहीं देखी हैं। सैम डिस्ट्रिक्ट में वो काफ़ी अरसे से रहते हैं, पेयरलैंड के काउंसिल वुमेन भी रहे, काउंसिल मैन भी रहे हैं। एक कॉलर से बात करते हैं। लेट्स रियली क्विक टॉक टू अ कॉलर एंड देन वील मूव ऑन द प्रोग्राम। अस्सलाम वालेकुम, यू आर ऑन एयर विद TVOne USA election 2020.
Reed, for Mr. Reed.
Okay, go ahead, sir. He's listening.
Yes, Mr. Reed, what is your number one priority for our community?
Mr. Reed, what is your number one priority? सवाल ये है कि आपकी सबसे बड़ी प्रायोरिटी क्या है उर्दू व्यूअर्स के लिए? Go ahead, Mr. Day.
Thank you for the question, and thank you, Dr. Plummer, for your endorsement. My number one priority is healthcare for this community overall. Right now, there's no hospital, no public hospital, and I talked about this on the last show. There's no public hospital in the Fort Bend County area, and so healthcare is my number one priority.
Thank you so much. Healthcare, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Derek have spoken about it many times, that healthcare is a need. We actually do not have enough hospitals in certain areas of Houston, Greater Houston area, and wherever his congressional district is covering. And there are some areas actually the hospital is so far away that you get to a decent facility, an emergency room, you have to go through so much traffic, you have railway tracks in the middle, and healthcare is one of the need. Dr. Plummer and Dr. Reed, Attorney Derek Reed, you are an attorney by profession, and you have struggled, and one of the candidates who is competing to have this nomination, he have a criminal record that we have heard about, that he has not been so upfront, coming out about it. And we all make mistakes in our life, and that's okay to make mistakes, as long as with every statement out there, we always admit that this is the mistake I made and this is what I learned from it. When did your campaign find out about this criminal record of another Democratic candidate who is trying to also get this nomination from the Democratic Party?
So I was made aware actually before I actually announced my candidacy, and like you said, I mean, we all make mistakes. I've had my own mistakes that I made as a juvenile, and so.
And you spoke about them openly during our last program, and we are very thankful for that. We can understand the challenges, but not being upfront about the facts, how does that make you feel?
Well, I think as candidates in general, and more so as elected officials, we have to be upfront with the public. We have to be upfront with what it is that it lies in our past, and how we will help push forward the agenda of the community that we represent, specifically with respect to District 22. I think, like I said, we as candidates have to be upfront with the voters. We have to be upfront with, with our colleagues, so that you know about us. I mean, we're putting ourselves out here to represent you, and so it's not fair to you to not know who it is that you're putting as your representative in D.C.
It's actually hurtful. Let's talk to the next caller before we go to the next question. Assalamu alaikum, you're on air, election 2020 with Dr. Councilwoman Letitia Plummer and Attorney Derek Reed and Muhammad Ali as your host. You're on air, sir. G.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum
I
salam.
would like to know what distinguishes Derek Reed from other candidates in his district.
And thank you for your question. What distinguishes Derek Reed? And I would ask this question first to you, Dr. Plummer, since you just endorsed him for congressional district. What distinguished him, in your opinion?
I think he's a family person. I don't think I know he's a family person. He has children. He understands how difficult it is to balance that part of it. He's also been an elected official before, which means that community has voted for him, and he's been able to serve a particular community. He's employed. I mean, he's an attorney, and so
Gainfully employed.
Gainfully employed. I mean, that's a very big deal, because you understand, the importance of making sure you can take care of your household and taking care of a mortgage, and how important healthcare is for a particular family. I mean, he is the epitome of what the Texas 22 looks like.
So when you see him, you see a daily average American father, husband, businessman with the same struggles as anyone else?
Yes,
is that true
most
to see?
definitely. And specifically in that particular district where education is important. I mean, he focuses on education. His children are becoming educated. He's a business owner. You know what I'm saying? So he lives in that space. He lives within that district. And so he knows firsthand what that district needs.
So if he wins this election,
Yes.
and if he wins this nomination, how would that make you feel?
I would be incredibly overjoyed. And I
And-
would feel like the community in Texas 22, and even though I don't live in that community, my business is there, my family, my parents live there. So how that community is handled is important to me personally.
You think he's better suited to represent Muslims, Christians, Jews, people who don't practice any religion, and all of the Americans, and why?
Without a doubt. He's compassionate.
Thank you.
He's compassionate. And so I believe that when you make those decisions, he doesn't make them, even how he represented us in Pearland as a council member, he doesn't make his decision based on political will. He makes it based on what the people need and what's important to them. And I feel like if he always makes those decisions, which I know that he will, because I've known him for many years, he will always make the right decisions for us.
Derek, before you answer this question, that why you think that you are better qualified than your counterpart, what are some of the burning issues in your district?
Definitely healthcare, like I mentioned before, immigration. Councilwoman Plummer mentioned the diversity of the district, and so immigration is very important. Not just a border issue of immigration, but outlying immigration from different countries, and then also criminal justice reform. We all deal with family members that have some type of maybe addiction issue, which is really a health concern. It's a mental health issue, and so those are the dominant issues in this district. And also infrastructure is something that's very pressing in this
So you
district.
spoke about infrastructure, addiction issues, and many others. So once we identify a problem, then we develop a strategy to solve them. What are some of the strategies in mind?
Well, first getting up there to learn, once I get to DC, actually learn what it is, or let me back up, learn how to get things passed. I know how to get things passed from a municipal level. I know how to work across the aisle from a municipal level, and I don't think it changes when you get to, it doesn't change. President Obama actually had a brief comment on how it never changes. It stayed the same all the way through his presidency, from Senate, from his House position in Illinois all the way through his presidency. And so that doesn't change, but learning how I can get some of the things that are already on the table pushed through, or changed up to where they will pass, and then get from the community what it is that they want pressed forward. And so, I know how to work with people. I know how to work with people across the aisle. I'm the only candidate that has actually a record of that, and I've shown results. I'm the only candidate with results. And so that's what makes me different from every other candidate in the Democratic primary. But that's...
And before we summarize this segment in Urdu, back to the question of the caller, if you can identify one or two things which you think makes you better qualified than any other Democratic or Republican candidate, what would that be?
Well, one, it would be I'm the most genuine candidate. I feel like I am this district. I represent every aspect of the district, from the kid that grew up with nothing, a mother that was on drugs my whole life, to someone that is a business owner now. My kids go to public school in the district, and so I feel like I represent every aspect of this district.
नाजरीन, डॉक्टर लतीश प्लमर और डेरिक रीड से जब बात की गई कि आप क्यों समझते हैं कि आप बेटर कैंडिडेट्स हैं, तो डॉक्टर प्लम्बर ने कहा कि एक होलसम बंदा जो फादर है, फैमिली मैन है, सारी स्ट्रगल से गुजरा है और सिटी गवर्नमेंट का एक्सपर्ट है, वो जब कांग्रेस में जाएगा तो उनके लिए फ़ख्र की बात होगी। डेरिक रीड ने यह कहा कि मैं वो शख्स हूँ जिसने अपनी वालदा के साथ स्ट्रगल की, जो कि सब्सटेंस अब्यूज़ का शिकार थी, ड्रग्स के प्रॉब्लम्स को फेस किया, इन्हीं गलियों में बचपन गुजारा, इन्हीं स्कूलों में अपने बच्चों को भेजता हूँ। यहाँ पे मैं एक सेल्फ मेड आदमी हूँ, सेल्फ मेड सक्सेसफुल बंदा हूँ, और मैं एज अ होलसम अमेरिकन हु लव्स एवरी अमेरिकन, बग़ैर किसी कलर डिस्क्रिमिनेशन के, एथनिक बैकग्राउंड के या रिलीजियस प्रायोरिटी के, इसलिए एज अ होलसम अमेरिकन मैं एक बेटर कैंडिडेट हूँ। डिसाइड आप लोग करेंगे, हमारा काम है, TV1 का काम है, इलेक्शन 2020 का काम है, फैक्ट्स लाना, कैंडिडेट से आपको मिलाना, आपके साथ चाय शेयर करना। एक छोटे से वक्फे के बाद दोबारा मिलते हैं। लेट्स टेक अ शॉर्ट ब्रेक। अस्सलाम वालेकुम, वेलकम बैक टू द प्रोग्राम इलेक्शन 2020। खुश आमदेद है आपको इलेक्शन 2020 प्रोग्राम में। Congressional hopeful for Congressional District 22, Derek Reed, And we have with us again Mr. Naeem Raja, a political analyst from Pakistani community at the grassroots level and also the member of board of directors for CAPSA. Congressional hopefuls are there always to serve the best interest of the district they represent. हमारे डिस्ट्रिक्ट के अंदर आप सबको पता है फ्लड हुआ, बहुत ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम्स हुए. मैं उस वक्त एक फंड रेजर के सिलसिले में ओवरसीज़ था, जो कि फंड रेजर आल्सो सिटी ऑफ ह्यूस्टन के फ्लड विक्टिम्स के लिए उस वक्त एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के प्लेटफॉर्म से किया जा रहा था. कांग्रेसमैन अल ग्रीन ने एक बिल पेश किया, बिल HR 3702. ये बिल डिज़ास्टर रिलीफ बिल था जिसमें एक्सटेंशन होती शायद फ्लड इंश्योरेंस के क्लेम्स के टाइम में. ये बड़ा कॉग्निसेंट बिल था, इम्पोर्टेंट बिल था, लेकिन हमारे करंट कांग्रेसमैन पीट ओल्सन ने न सिर्फ इस बिल पे बात की, न सिर्फ ये कि इसको टेबल किया जाए, बाद में किया जाए, एक एक्सक्यूज़ बना के ही वोटेड अगेंस्ट इट. जब हमारे पॉलिटिकल लीडर्स who are supposed to look out for the best interest of their voters, of their community, they turn a blind eye just because of the division amongst the party lines. Those are not the right people to represent us. I would like to talk to Derek Reed about it. How do you feel living in this area and so many houses in Sugarland flooded, so many houses in Pearland probably flooded, so many houses in the upper Houston side flooded, all over Houston people really, you know, their bread and butter was really hammered by the Mother Nature. How do you feel? And forget about being a congressional hopeful, just an average Houstonian, how do you feel about it?
And you said it best. I mean, someone representing me, whether or not it's in my district or another district in the Houston area, should know that flooding is one of the hugest issues. It is the biggest issue that we have in Houston as Houstonians and in the greater Houston area. To vote against anything that would have helped disaster relief or that will help disaster relief going forward. I mean, we've experienced, gosh, I want to say 3 major floods in the past, few years, past 6 or 7 years, and it makes no sense whatsoever for anybody to vote against anything that would help, those that are harmed or that could be harmed by floods.
So, this directly relates to the infrastructure within the congressional district, is it not?
Oh, it's a huge, that bill doesn't necessarily help infrastructure, but it would have helped flood victims. Infrastructure is a huge issue in our district, in the community in general, in the greater Houston area, but specifically in our district. We have huge infrastructure issues, more so out in the Sugarland/Katy area. With Hurricane Harvey, we ended up having to open up barriers that flooded homes, many homes. Some people still recovering today. And again, I go back to someone voting against anything, I don't care what your party is, that would have helped or extended flood insurance or would have assisted with anyone having claims or anyone that was a flood victim having a claim. You don't vote against that. You just don't. You represent the people that elected you and that put you there.
Derek, do you think the phobia that knowingly or unknowingly President Trump is creating have anything to do with it?
I think,
my way or the highway type of phobia?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think that that helps for someone to solidify, their position on something, specifically a Republican to solidify their position. They don't want the president against them. They don't want the president speaking out against them. It didn't really make sense, though, in this instance because Congressman Olson has already resigned, and so this was November of 2019 after he had announced his resignation. This is not something that he should have worried about the president or anybody else, what they thought about.
But you think this political pressure that this congressman could not stand kind of makes him a weak leader who just wants to go with the flow and not look out for the community's best interest? Well,
I think, even with regard to his statement, I think that he said that he didn't feel like the bill it had enough meat on it. He should have got with Congressman Green and said, okay, well, look, let's what can we do to make this better? Or given his 2 cents, don't just vote against it. It's kind of like just the importance of voting in general. We can speak about the people representing us, but if we're not out there voting, then it's of no effect.
So that's one take on it. And as a journalist, my take is
But that's not being dispersed. That money is still somewhere. Some city's account or somewhere that is not being given to the people, and people are still waiting. And being a member of that organization, they are helping these people. I saw devastation every day when people are asking for small little things. Somebody doesn't have a bed, somebody doesn't have a chair to sit on, and the people are still living in the.
Tell us a little bit about when you recently were in downtown and you went there to distribute some bedding and warm clothes and all that. What did you see there? Were people really in need?
Yeah, actually, if I don't know if you saw the pictures, but I saw people in the really cold weather. They didn't have anything to wear. I saw a woman just wearing one, undershirt,
Sure.
and she didn't have anything to, wear. When we gave jackets.
And this is the situation, ladies and gentlemen, in Houston that we're dealing with. And we have congressional representatives who, without thinking and without giving it a second thought, without reaching out across party lines, talking to other congressional representatives, and without giving a serious thought, are just rejecting bills. Derek, how many other candidates are vying for a Democratic nomination in this race?
So there's a total of 5 candidates, including myself.
Okay.
So 4 others, so it's total of 5 going for this nomination, for the Democratic nomination.
In 1 minute, since we have a couple of minutes left in the program, and I want to thank you, Mr. Naeem, and both of you being on the program. In 1 minute, Derek, if you would like to make your case to Americans, and to specifically today, Pakistani and Indian Americans, what would that be?
I would say that I have always represented the people of every parts of the community, specifically in Pearland. I will continue on with that as a representative and a voice for you, for all communities. And so please elect me as your next congressman. You will not be let down. I'm the only candidate that you can go back and see a record for, but not just a record, but results. I have given results. I've proven that I can deliver results to the community and to the people. And so I'm asking for me to be able to continue that for this entire district and for all communities within this district.
समराइज करते हैं उर्दू में, डेरिक रीड आपसे आपका वोट मांग रहे हैं कि इनको चांस दीजिए ताकि ये कांग्रेशनल डिस्ट्रिक्ट 22 में आपको रिप्रेजेंट कर सकें। अर्ली वोटिंग, ये प्राइमरी इलेक्शन की अर्ली वोटिंग 18 फरवरी को शुरू होगी। 18 फरवरी से 28 फरवरी तक ये अर्ली वोटिंग होगी और प्राइमरी का मेन दिन 3 मार्च है। 3 मार्च को प्राइमरी का मेन दिन होगा। और आपसे गुजारिश है सारे जितने भी हमारे फेलो अमेरिकन्स हैं कि 18 फरवरी से 28 फरवरी तक के दिनों में अपना वोट कास्ट कर लें। ये ज़्यादा बेहतर रहता है क्योंकि 3 मार्च को लाइंस होती हैं बड़ी लंबी लंबी, तो अवॉइड कर सकते हैं आप लाइंस को। 18 फरवरी से 28 मार्च तक अगर आप शुगरलैंड, पेयरलैंड और कांग्रेशनल डिस्ट्रिक्ट 22 में कहीं पे भी रहते हैं तो अपने वोट का हक ज़रूर एक्सरसाइज कीजिएगा। और समराइज़ करते हैं कि डॉक्टर लतीशा प्लम्बर हमारे साथ आए, नईम राय साहब आए, डेरिक रीड ने अपना केस बयान किया। आखिर में बात यह है कि हमें सिर्फ वही लोग रिप्रेजेंट करें जो कि होलसम अमेरिकन्स हैं, जो अपनी आइडेंटिटी पे प्राउड हैं, जो कि फेलो अमेरिकन्स के साथ रिगार्डलेस ऑफ एथनिक एंड रिलीजियस बैकग्राउंड इंसाफ कर सकते हैं। जस्टिस फॉर ऑल एंड अपॉर्चुनिटी फॉर एवरीवन गारंटी दे सकते हैं। मोहम्मद अली, इलेक्शन 2020, सी यू नेक्स्ट टाइम।